You know what time it is. It's time for another Center of It All. On this edition, we'll take a look at the new Catholic Center that opened up near Penn State's campus. Women in business gather together to help one another out, and Mel Prosciutti is making a pizza pie. All this and more coming up next on the Center of It All. Hi, I'm Alex Rabb with the Center of It All. Thanks for taking time out of your weekend to join us today. We have a lot going on, so let's start the show out by taking a look at a place that will bring peace and unity to those who enter it. And thanks to the help of a very special woman, the Catholic Student Faith Center is up and running. The idea for a student Catholic center for the students at Penn State started in the mid-90s. Catholic campus ministry, however, is a concept that has been building long before that. A driving force behind that idea can be directed towards Sue Poland-Paterno. There's a very good reason why Sue wanted a center for the Catholic students in the area around, but I'll let Father Matthew Laffey explain.
There weren't many Catholics in this area. They were brought here by the university, by attending to the university. So as the population of Catholics grew, they outgrew the small church that was really down around Foster and Fraser. And Sue was there. Sue tells me stories how they used to seat people in the basement. You'd listen to Mass upstairs because it was that full. So the diocese decided to build a new church, Our Lady of Victory. But in order to do that, they wanted to separate campus ministry from the church. Proximity-wise, I mean, the distance too was too far for students. Would someone start a Catholic campus ministry? And so with the monks of St. Vincent were invited up here to do that. 50 years ago this year, this is our anniversary. And Sue came with, at 50 years ago, came here and started getting involved with building up Catholic campus ministry.
And that's precisely why everyone involved with this project felt so strongly about the naming of the center.
It has less to do with the money that was she and Joe and family contributed to this project, but more because of her 50 years of involvement. She speaks to our group, she tutors students, and she's a great presence. She's a Eucharistic minister for years and years and years with us. She's a great presence and a good role model. And the students love her.
With nothing but kind words to say about Sue and the family, Father continues to explain how the Catholic Center has a little piece of home for Sue as well.
The Holy Family window is her home church in Latrobe. She's from Latrobe. So that was her mother's church, the Holy Family Church. So we got that window there. And this is called the Holy Family. It was christened the Holy Family Chapel. Not christened, but dedicated as such. So in part that's for her and her mom.
The family window isn't the only item that traveled from afar. The other stained glass windows in the chapel come from SS Timothy and Mark Church in Twin Rocks, Pennsylvania. The Stations of the Cross, beautifully made out of glass, are from St. Michael's Church in Munhall, Pennsylvania, along with the bas relief behind the holy water font. The bowl for the holy water font was made by a father in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. The tabernacle was designed and built at New Guild Studios in Braddock, PA. Father Laffey is very positive with how the students will take to the Catholic Student Faith Center. It's a place students can go to lounge, to study, and to pray.
And they're going to love it. It's just that I've never done this. They've never done it here. So we got to live in it. We got to do this together. We're not sure, but it's going to be a great success, I know. But it's somewhere they can come to all the time. Pasquarel is a great place. And that was built with a lot of the same people. It's a great place, but it's crowded, and you just can't go in there and count on a place to just sit or pray. Things are scheduled. This allows a place where you can always come. Like Sue and I tell people it's a place a Catholic student can call home.
For the Center of It All, I'm Alex Rabb. And remember, though the space was designed specifically for Catholics to get together, you will not be discriminated against if your religion is something different. All are welcome. When we return, we'll take a look at an expo just for women. A State College woman came up with a great idea to get other business women together at an event where ideas could be shared and relationships could be made. Join me over at Celebration Hall for the Entrepreneurial Women's Expo. If you're a smart, strong, hardworking, and fun-loving woman with your own business, or you're bursting with ideas to start your own business, then I found the perfect group for you. Jessica Dolan is the bringer of order for Room to Breathe Home Organizing and Staging and the creator of the Entrepreneurial Women's Expo. As a go-getting woman herself, she understands what the power of connecting with other businesswomen can do for one's life and career. The inspiration came to her 8 years ago when she started her own business.
I knew that I wanted to hold some sort of event to celebrate women in business, but I didn't exactly know what. And 4 years ago, it was a January morning, I woke up and was just hit with the idea. I couldn't tell you why, it just happened and kind of started to spin from there. I started developing the logo and the event and reserving the spaces, and it has just snowballed. And we're now in our 4th year.
The expo continues to bring in a crowd too.
I have seen growth. The event continues to grow incrementally every year. Next year, I hope to set a pretty high attendance goal of about 150. And the event right now has about 120 women with almost 50 exhibitors.
It was an amazingly fun and positive day. The Entrepreneurial Women's Expo, also known as EWE, had plenty of booths out to sea. Now I know it doesn't look too busy, but we just missed the start to one of the workshops, which we will take a look at in just a moment. The EWE had every type of business there that you could even imagine, from investment banking to photography, skincare, jewelry, business marketing, greeting cards, and healthy living and eating. This is the 2nd year that Mount Nittany Medical Center is involved with the EWE. However, their presence is more than just a financial sponsor.
As a sponsor of the EWE, Mount Nittany is not only proud to be a financial supporter, but we are providing healthcare information to the participants of the EWE, as well as this year as the Healthy Food Choices sponsor, we are providing them with healthy recipes that they can take back to their families and their neighbors and make wonderful meals prepared from local produce that maybe they got at a local farmer's market or they've sourced from a local butcher, and really not only further their own health and wellness, but support the community in various ways.
Dolan did a great job incorporating the people of the community with the businesses around them. Sue Swain of SPE Federal Credit Union says the SPE has been involved since the start.
At the beginning of the exposition, we have the opportunity, Jessica provides us the opportunity to speak for a couple of minutes. So I kind of just tell a little bit of background of how the credit union started and that we're a member-owned financial cooperative. And if people want to become part of an ownership of their own financial institution, that we're here and we can help them.
And what's really amazing about the Women's Entrepreneurial Expo is that not only do new ladies come to check out the excitement for the first time, but women that have seen the expo in years past continue to come back. Relationships, both business and personal, are made.
The amount of people have grown, as well as the amount of people exhibiting. I believe just from my watching people, the networking, you can really see people that have come over either all 4 years or repeat members or customers, expositioners, whatever you want to call them, have made those connections. And you see them year after year, and it's kind of like Old Home Week.
So let's get to those workshops we talked about in the beginning. Dolan provided 4 of them at staggered times so you could attend one or all of them. We're taking a sneak peek at creating and finding your balance inside and out. It's just one of the easygoing but informative, and let's not forget, positive seminars of the day. I think the title of the workshop speaks volumes about what the workshop is actually about. Dolan brought in speakers to help teach and motivate the attendees. The exhibitors helped to create bridges through business, and of course, the day was made for entrepreneurial women to make connections, get ideas, and to create relationships. And for a memorable touch, Dolan added a photo booth with fun accessories to the mix, so the attendees could always look back and remember what a great experience they had at the expo. And be sure to find them on Facebook and stay up to date for next year's expo. For the center of it all, I'm Alex Rabb. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with a look at our health and how the autumn weather affects us. I'm Alex Rabb, and welcome back to the center of it all. It's no secret that in the winter months, bears go into hibernation, and as humans, we'd like to follow. The cold weather makes you just want to curl up and not move. Well, we spoke with a registered dietitian over at Cleveland Clinic to see exactly how the fall affects our bodies.
As the temperature goes down, your chances of gaining weight may go up. Carolyn Snyder is a registered dietitian at Cleveland Clinic. She says there are lots of reasons we gain weight this time of year.
So coming home and having your heavy stews and having your cream soups to warm up after a long cold day is only going to add extra calories when you're eating the lighter foods during the summer months. So our activity level declines during the winter months typically. So with the higher carb intake, the lesser activity, we do come out a few pounds heavier when the spring arrives.
Snyder says many of our favorite fall foods are starchier, like corn, or they're packed with calories, like cider and pumpkin pie. Colder temperatures typically keep a lot of us inside more often and less active, and provides less opportunity to burn those extra calories. So Snyder says to pay attention to how much you're eating now and through the winter to keep the fat and calorie count down. She says you can also alter your recipes a little.
It's very easy to modify the fat content in the cream soups if you just change to a skim milk, if you're using less starchy vegetables, if you're using a fat-free stock. So you can still enjoy all of your fall foods, but you just have to be mindful that those calories are going to stay with you over the winter months.
Snyder says you also have to figure out a way to stay active, no matter how cold it gets outside. With the Cleveland Clinic for the center of it all, I'm Jim Strickland.
Thanks, Jim. Now see how we can shake off some of those calories in a very calm, low-impacting type of setting. Now, there's really no excuse for missing a workout. Lots of people are trying couch yoga to stretch and strengthen their muscles. Judy Barr is a certified yoga therapist at Cleveland Clinic. She says you can start by trying a pose called the roller coaster.
You lean back. Now you want to keep your spine straight and come back up. You're already starting to use deep abs. To make it a little harder, as you lean back, you lift your legs up. So what's happening is now you're going deeper into the abs and starting to use the quadriceps a little bit more.
Judy says this pose got its name because when it's done correctly, you should look like you're racing down a big hill on a roller coaster. You can even throw your arms in the air to strengthen your abs even more. Sitting up straight and lifting a leg will also work your core. Just be sure to work both sides. Spread your feet, fold your arms, and lean forward to strengthen your lower back. Reach down and touch the floor to give it a good stretch. And Judy says to work your oblique muscles, try side bends from a sitting position.
This lets the muscles relax. We're holding ourselves up. Take it off. All the muscles have to work against gravity. Stay there for a bit, and then as you get up, you're using your core to come up. So it's a beautiful thing. We isolate it. We're nice and sturdy. We don't have to take our eyes off the TV.
Judy says you decide how long to hold each pose, but try to work up to a 10 count. And she says to be sure you check with your doctor before starting any exercise program. For the Cleveland Clinic with the center of it all, I'm Alex Rabb. We have to take a break, but when we return, we'll take a look at what a resident foodie is whipping up. Hello and welcome. I hope you're hungry. Mel Prosciutti made a delicious pizza pie, St. Louis style, on her latest edition of Kitchen Encounters.
Everybody loves pizza, and if you've raised kids, how many times have you heard the words, "Can we just order a pizza tonight?" Today, I'm going to show you how to make 2 crispy, thin crust pizzas from scratch in less than 40 minutes. Let's get started. The kind of pizza I'm making today is officially known as St. Louis style pizza. And out in St. Louis, it's known for its super thin, super crispy, almost cracker-like crust. So what makes St. Louis style pizza different from New York City's famous thin crust pizza? This dough contains no yeast. It's made with baking powder, and that's what's going to allow us to get it into the oven really fast today. What I'm whisking together in this bowl is 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a ½ teaspoon each of sugar and salt. What I'm basically making here is self-rising flour. if you don't even want to go to this amount of trouble, you can buy a bag of self-rising flour. But remember, because there's baking powder in it, it means there's going to be an expiration date on it. So if you don't use a lot of it, you could end up throwing a pretty big bag of flour away. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a half a cup of warm water to my mix and 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to take my impeccably clean hand and I'm going to begin whisking the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients, turning the bowl as I go. And this is a little messy at first, but this dough is so easy to work with. Now, as you can see, I'm gathering it together to form a nice wet mass. And once I get it into a wet mass, what I'm doing is I'm pushing down on it with the heel of my hand and turning and pushing, and that's called kneading the dough. And as soon as this forms a solid ball, and we're coming up on that very quickly, almost done. Here we go. Nice solid ball. I'm going to wash my hands, cover this with plastic wrap, and set it aside for 10 minutes to rest, which is going to make the dough really elastic and easy to put into our pizza pans. I uncovered my dough, cut it in half, and I put it on 2 standard-sized pizza pans that had been oiled with just a little tablespoon or 2 of olive oil. Now you can pat this dough out with your fingertips, but if you have one of these handy-dandy little rollers, I have to tell you, it really makes quick work of this. You can get both of these crusts into 2 pans in, I'm going to say almost, well, it's at least less than 5 minutes, not less than 2 minutes. But once you get your dough into the corners into the pan, you just want to take your fingertips, pat it all the way around the sides. You want to bring it up to make your standard little pizza crust lip around the outsides. And I don't know if the camera can get a good shot of this, but you can see how thin, almost see-through this dough is. And now we're ready for our toppings. You can put any kind of pizza sauce on a St. Louis style pizza that you want. But the only thing you can't do is put too much sauce on. 1/3 to 1/2 cup maximum, because the crust is so thin. You can also put any kind of cheese on a St. Louis style pizza that you want. But if you want it to be authentic, you're going to do a mixture of grated white cheddar, grated baby Swiss, and grated provolone. And if you live anywhere around St. Louis, they market a whole blend of that cheese, and it's called Provel. And you can buy it in blocks just like this or grated in bags. I'm going to put at least 1.5 cups of cheese on the top of this pizza. Maybe 2 cups. I have about 4 cups in here. I'm going to save half for the other one. And wait till you taste this blend. And another thing authentic St. Louis style pizza doesn't do, they don't use Parmesan or Parmigiano Reggiano. They depend on the flavors of these three cheeses. I think that looks like enough. I'm making 2 pizzas tonight. The first one is going to be topped with black olives because my grandson is coming to town, and that's his favorite topping. And when I top my second pizza, that one's going to be all pepperoni because that's my son's favorite topping. So now I'm going to put this one in a 350-degree oven for about 12 minutes, and while it's baking, I'm going to top my second pizza. unlike the thin crust New York style pizza I mentioned earlier, this pizza is too thin to be cut into wedges and picked up and folded in half to eat. It's so crispy, they cut it into squares. And as they say in St. Louis, dare to be square. This pizza's beyond compare. For these and all of my recipes, just go to my website.
So now if you're ever in a pinch not knowing what to make for dinner, you have a simple but delicious solution. You can check out that recipe and many others at kitchenencounters.typepad.com. Well, that wraps things up for us here today. Thanks for joining. But before you go, remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a great day.